Rwanda denies the United Nations claim of its role in the Democratic Republic of Congo civilian massacre in the month of July. 40 people killed after paramilitary rapid support forces attack a displacement camp near El Fasher in Sudan. Plus, the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority promises fairness in handling a recent altercation between an air passenger and cabin crew member of Ibom Air. Thank you for joining us at this time. Welcome to the program. I'm Layo Olarinde. Rwanda is rejecting accusations by the United Nations that its forces took part alongside rebels in the killings of several hundred civilians in eastern DR Congo. The country has termed this false. In a statement by the Foreign Affairs Ministry, Kigali called the accusation unacceptable. Citing first-hand accounts, the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights had said M23 rebels killed at least 319 civilians in a series of attacks on 4 villages in North Kivu province in the month of July, and they were assisted by Rwandan forces. The UN said the killings took place on farms in the Rutshuru territory between July 9 and July 21. Well, Rwanda is accusing the UN's rights agency of seeking to undermine efforts to end the conflict with this accusation in Congo's eastern region. In July, Kinshasa and M23 rebels signed a declaration of principles after weeks of meetings in Doha, Qatar's capital, both committing to a permanent ceasefire, but clashes have continued on the ground. The continuing violence, according to analysts, could threaten the efforts to get DR Congo and the rebels to sign a permanent peace deal by August 18. We're in Sudan now, where the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, RSF, have launched a brutal assault on a famine-stricken displacement camp near El Fasher, and that's the capital of North Darfur, killing at least 40 people and injuring 19 others. According to local rights groups, the attack marks another escalation in the ongoing civil war, which has displaced millions and pushed vulnerable populations to the brink of starvation. The Abu Shuk displacement camp, which is home to around 450,000 people, has been repeatedly targeted since the war began in Sudan in April 2023. On Monday, RSF fighters are said to have stormed sections of the camp, attacking residents inside their homes. The resistance committees in El Fasher, and that's a network of local activists, have condemned the assault, stating that it reflects horrific violations against innocent, defenseless people. Meanwhile, the Sudanese army claims it repelled the large-scale RSF offensive in El Fasher on Monday, destroying 16 vehicles and capturing 34 others. But the RSF is disputing this, asserting that it gained ground and seized military equipment. The Abu Shuk camp is one of 2 sites in Sudan that's suffering from severe famine, according to aid organizations. Edem Wosonu is the UN's Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs. She's the Director of Operations and Advocacy. She warns that over 60 people, mostly women and children, died of malnutrition in El Fasher in just 1 week. Briefing reporters virtually from Sudan, she says what she saw in Khartoum is devastating and the city is utterly destroyed.
Khartoum was devastating. It was a decimated city, a Khartoum that was once buzzing with life, almost a ghost town, a Khartoum that is utterly destroyed. We went back to our OCHA offices where we couldn't enter the premise because of an exploded ordnance, explosive remnants of war, not cleared by, of course, the United Nations Mine Action Service, who've been clearing different offices across the city. I have never seen anything like this before in my almost quarter of a century service to the United Nations and to humanitarian action in several difficult war-torn contexts. This is the worst I've seen it. what we're asking for is basically 55 cents per day per person in Sudan, and that's it, right? So where we have access, we're able to assist. Where we have safety and security assurances, we're able to assist. Where we have enough supplies and funding, we're able to assist. This is the Sudan crisis, as I said, the largest displaced crisis, the largest health crisis, the largest number of people in need. We've received 23% of what we're asking for. We've received almost $1 billion, and we've been able to assist some 13 million people. So you see, when we get the assistance in, when we get the flexible funding, we are able to mobilize. Certainly the World Food Programme, the UNICEF, World Health Organization, UNFPA, IOM, all our UN agencies, funds and programs, as well as, of course, our international and national NGOs are able to mobilize.
In Chad, the UN Refugee Agency, UNHCR, says it is working with partners to ensure access to health information and safe water amid a cholera outbreak affecting refugees from Sudan's Darfur. The agency is urgently calling for an immediate injection of funds to scale up life-saving health, hygiene, water, shelter and nutrition support to avoid a health catastrophe. According to officials, overcrowding in areas hosting the displaced, lack of clean water and limited health and sanitation facilities are accelerating transmission of the disease. As part of efforts to stem the outbreak, UNHCR has suspended the relocation of refugees from the border to Dugi to prevent new cases of cholera. Hand washing stations are being set up, soap distributed and latrines disinfected. Medical supplies and personal protective equipment have also been delivered to health facilities, and health workers are being trained to enhance identification and surveillance of cholera cases. In neighboring South Sudan, more than 1.3 million people in Jonglei and Greater Pibor are suffering from acute food insecurity because of persistent intercommunal fighting, climate shocks, and a deteriorating economic situation. Well, to help combat the crisis, South Korean UN peacekeepers serving with the UN mission in the country are helping local communities develop innovative ways to boost food production and build resilience. Working in collaboration with the Dr. John Grange Memorial University of Science and Technology, the peacekeepers are leading the implementation of high-tech farming techniques to transform the agricultural sector, including developing a new rice variety known as chorus. It's a combination of Korea and rice in Juba Arabic, and training also of local communities to cultivate these crops.
The knowledge that I've got here, I'm now applying it at the community level. I'm working with some of the organizations of which I'm teaching my farmers how to plant rice, which I've learned from here. And also, I have my small farm where I also planted my rice.
This is the only technical university in South Sudan. So in collaboration with the technical university, we also imparting the technological advantages, or the South Korean technology is also transferring to the university. So it is in a multifaceted way. The university is benefiting, the community is benefiting by the presence of the peacekeepers from South Korea.
The culture of our people, they have the habit of dwelling on raising livestock only, but the domestication of bird is a little bit ignored. With the Korean help, they have actually inspired the public to bring this poultry farming training through the university. And the poultry farming has got a high value in our community.
And now with support from Korea, establishing this ambit vocational school, it has now enhanced the skill of the student, whereby now they can be self-reliant, they can be self-employed they can also create their own job and then employ other people, which is job creation and also empowerment of human resource.
Zimbabwe has marked its 45th Heroes Day with a speech from President Emmerson Mnangagwa, who is vowing that neocolonialism will never be given a foothold in the country. Addressing crowds at the National Heroes Acre in Harare, he called Zimbabwe a proud, independent and empowered African nation and urged citizens to remain masters of their own destiny. The ceremony included wreath laying at the tomb of the unknown soldier and the presentation of honors. President Mnangagwa also highlighted government reforms and announced Zimbabwe's bid for a non-permanent seat at the United Nations Security Council for 2027 to 2028. Heroes Day commemorates those who fought in the war that led to Zimbabwe's independence from the UK in 1980.
This 45th Heroes Anniversary allows us to once again take stock of the strides we are making to realize the yesteryear goals that so many departed and living heroes and heroines waged the protracted armed struggle. We are masters of our own destiny. We are a proud, independent, sovereign and empowered African people. Neo-colonialism will never, never, never be given a foothold in our motherland, Zimbabwe. The multi-pronged reform programs implemented under the Second Republic are having positive and evident impacts to the economy as well as the quality of life of our citizens. Despite challenges characterized by the effects of the illegal sanctions imposed by the West, we can celebrate farmers and stakeholders in the agricultural sector who continue to be worth custodians of the land which our heroes and heroines paid for with their precious blood. Our heroes would definitely be proud of the positive strides which our farmers are making. Zimbabwe has submitted its bid for a non-permanent seat in the United Nations Security Council for the period 2027 to 2028. Additionally, we have reinforced our country's commitment to global peace and security by becoming a founding member of the International Organization for Mediation. Later this week, Zimbabwe will be handing over the chairmanship of SADC to the Republic of Madagascar. This follows our successful term, which ran under the theme promoting innovation to unlock opportunities for sustained economic growth and development towards an industrialized SADC. We have achieved this as Zimbabwe.
Let's take a break now on the program. Still to come. The Committee of Wives of Lagos State officials begin free medical outreach in the state to build a healthy environment. Please stay with us. Welcome back to the program. We'll continue here in Nigeria, where the Nigerian Bar Association has strongly condemned the treatment of Ms. Comfort Emansin in the incident aboard an Ibom Air flight and the subsequent lifetime flight ban imposed on her by Ibom Air and the airline operators of Nigeria. In a statement signed by the NBA president and senior advocate of Nigeria, Mr. Afam Osigwe, the NBA describes the action as heavy-handed, unlawful, and a grave affront to the rule of law and human dignity. The body also adds that no person, regardless of the circumstances, should be treated in such a dehumanizing manner. While affirming that Ibom Air has issued its own account of events, the NBA says other video footage has emerged showing an Ibom Air hostess preventing Ms. Emerson from alighting from the aircraft, a conduct it deemed could constitute false imprisonment and a possible provocation that escalated the situation. The Association of Lawyers also sees the decision to impose a lifetime ban without affording Ms. Emerson a fair opportunity to be heard as equally troubling. Well, the NBA says it stands ready to provide Ms. Emerson with pro bono legal support to ensure her rights are protected and that she obtains redress for the violations suffered. The NBA also demands that Ibom Air immediately withdraw the lifetime ban, issue a public apology to Ms. Emerson, and cooperate fully with an impartial investigation into this incident. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, has also assured fairness in handling the recent Ibom Air incident involving a passenger and the cabin crew, but cautioned that unruly behavior will be addressed strictly within the confines of the law. The Director of Public Affairs and Consumer Protection, Mike Achimogu, says aggrieved passengers should lodge their formal complaints rather than take laws into their own hands. He has also pledged that the Ibom Air case will be handled with utmost fairness and transparency. Well, in the past 24 hours, Comfort Emerson, the passenger at the center of a violent incident aboard an Ibom Air flight from Uyo to Lagos, has found herself in the eye of the storm. She has been arraigned at the Ikeja Magistrate Court and remanded at the Kirikiri Correctional Center in Lagos. We have more in this report by our correspondent, Olu Phillips.
One flight too many, the tale of the airplanes, could suffice as the headline of an editorial piece that attempts to capture the frequency of the flights of events as it concerns the Nigerian aviation community. First public consciousness in recent time, as captured on candid camera, could be this. Unclear what the issues were following various versions, the man in the eye of the storm made this clarification.
When I approached them and they asked me, oh, we finished, and I showed them the fact that I've checked in, they said, okay, I think somebody went to inform the manager, it's Oshomali. The manager came out, I said, we can, quietly sort you out, just follow me to the office. I said, no, that is the problem of Nigeria. I could have been one of these people. So checking in is not a secret deal. Check me in here along with these other people.
Perhaps, as has been said in public forums, that incidences in Nigeria blow away quickly, another event took over the airwaves, or so it appeared. Just last week, these videos surfaced of various social media platforms apparently showing a notable Fuji musician in Nigeria, Wasiu Ayinde Marshal, nearly being hit by the wings of an aircraft on the tarmac of the Nnamdi Azikiwe Airport in Abuja.
Wait now, say you strong, why you not wait?
The video became a sensation as many more angles began to make rapid circulation with clear apprehension in the polity. The Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Mr. Festus Keyamo, made these statements, which reads in part that the action was akin to a hostage situation, warning that no one, including celebrities, would be allowed to act with impunity.
What did you do? What did you do to me?
We are served with another thriller from another passenger who allegedly was unruly on an Ibom flight from Uyo to Lagos 24 hours after the incident actually occurred. And since the first video surfaced, additional episodes have followed.
Everybody ran leave the aircraft. Come on for a make I pass.
So let's look at the issues more critically. Are these off-cycle events or a signal to a more existential problem?
Everybody's in the three scenarios you have highlighted were also conscious of their personality. So they were not just seeing themselves as humans, they were seeing themselves because of their title. So when they were being addressed, rather than come down to the level of those that is addressing them, they were like, you need to recognize my personality. The National Orientation Agency, permit me to throw them in, needs to do a couple of engaging conversation about people understanding their rights. If we are going to improve our society, not just talking human rights now, we are talking the consumer rights. Because you are spending time, spending money, going into contracts that you don't even read. How many of us read our terms and agreements? We just click.
Already, Ms. Comfort Bob, the lady seen in the latest altercation, has been charged to court on a 5-count charge, including assault, remanded in Kirikiri Correctional Facility, and will be their guest until October 6, 2025. Again, we are faced with a plethora of reactions. The Minister of Aviation says enough is enough. The statement includes a convening of a security meeting next week of relevant agencies, advice to genuinely aggrieved passengers on way to seek redress, and indefinite flight ban on the airing passenger for both local and international flights. The management of Ibom Air has also released a statement and harped theirs on the passengers' refusal to follow crew members' advice, just as the Federal Aviation Authority of Nigeria has highlighted the need for passengers to acquaint themselves with passengers' rights and responsibility, adding that the agency will not hesitate to implement relevant sanctions against disruptive behavior and so on.
Yeah, I've had a few unruly passengers. I've had people smoking in the toilets. I've had passengers physically assaulting cabin crews. I've had, you name it, I've had all sorts of unruly passengers. I think the concerning thing is the airports and airline securities are either not empowered enough to deal with it on the ground, or it must be something really, if you like, making it difficult for them to act swiftly before things escalate.
As these incidences continue to make headlines, the challenge for authorities and airlines alike is to strike a balance between passengers' rights and flight safety. And suspect face prosecution as already has been applied to Ms. Bob, who is now in Kirikiri. The question remains, what will it take to restore calm to Nigeria's skies, and what will a fair application of the Nigerian law mean? Olu Phillips, Channels Television News.
Well, as part of efforts to provide accessible healthcare to residents across Lagos communities, the Committee of Wives of Lagos State officials have commenced a free medical outreach in its quest to build a healthy environment.
Residents of Mushi are the first beneficiaries of the free medical outreach organized by the Committee of Wives of Lagos State officials, which is in commemoration of the 25th anniversary of the National Women Conference. Both old and young had the opportunity of carrying out dental screening, eye checkup, blood pressure, sugar level, among others, without being charged. 149. Some of the beneficiaries applaud the state government for the healthcare program.
Many people, they cannot afford medical bill or medical bill. To go to the hospital, they cannot afford some of the tests that are carried out here this morning. But we came here this morning, they carry out the tests freely for us, and then we see the doctor, they gave us drugs. In fact, it's perfect. Not all of us that have the money to do the health, but for them doing it free, we thank them. They should improve on it. Alhaji Babatunde Shitabe
Kauso says the health screening exercise is targeted at people at the grassroots to help them reduce out-of-pocket expenses.
Under the theme, Edge for All, Bridging Gaps, Building an Healthy Future, we gather once again to celebrate. But in addition, we affirm a collective resolve that access to healthcare is a right. it is not a privilege and that no one should be left behind. So this outreach is a living expression of that commitment. It is about us reaching the underserved, caring for those that are vulnerable, and of course, laying a formidable foundation for a healthier tomorrow. Today, we invite you, our friends, our neighbors, our families, to take full advantage of this opportunity to benefit from the free health screening that is available today.
Wife of the Lagos State Governor, Dr. Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu, who is also the chairman, Committee of Wives of Lagos State Officials, says various communities will also be visited for the free medical outreach to ensure everyone has access to health care.
We are not just offering medical services, but restoring hope and dignity to families who need it most. It is expedient to emphasize that CAUSO is a community-based gender organization established to complement the efforts of Lagos State government in bringing about great development and growth and generally influencing our state through various welfare and charitable initiatives. Let me stress that regular medical screening offers benefits by early detection of any sickness that you have, enabling timely intervention and empowering individuals to be proactive, untimely. Ultimately, it lowers healthcare costs.
CAUSA urges residents of Lagos to take advantage of the free medical health services, which will be replicated in Makoko, Ekwe, and other areas to ensure a healthy status for all Lagosians.
And as we end the program, here's our fun fact about the continent. Did you know Sudan has more pyramids than any other country on earth, even more than Egypt? There are at least 223 pyramids in the Sudanese city of Al-Kuru, Nuri, Gebel, Bakal, and Meru. And these are structures built by the ancient Nubian kingdoms of Kush. Well, if you didn't know, now you know. And that's it on the program for today. Thank you for watching. I'm Layo Olarinde.